welcome to Art of the Unquiet Grave. I'm Ash, if you're new here, which I imagine most of you probably are new here. If you happen to be one of the original subscribers from when I uploaded my first video, which was 5 years ago, thank you for sticking around for so long. You are incredibly patient, and I appreciate that, and I'll make it up to you somehow. But for starters, I guess I'll just kind of back it up a little bit and introduce or reintroduce myself and the channel for, anybody who might be watching. So I guess a little bit of backstory about that. 8 years ago, I started selling my art. I'm a Gothic artist, and I've done a ton of different mediums over the course of my life. But about 8 years ago, I was doing mixed media bone sculpture. Hard to explain, but I'll insert some pictures here if anybody's interested in the kind of things I was making at that point. So I was selling my art, I was having some gallery shows, and people along the way kept telling me that I should try to sort of build more of a social media presence. At the time, I was very, anti-social media, off social media, but, trying to get with the times here. So in any event, I started trying to think about like a way that I could foray more into like an online presence, I guess. And for me, it was sort of an obvious want that I desperately wanted to get into YouTube, because even though it might not be evident from this video, I'm still working out the kinks in my camera setup here. But I had actually gone to film school. I went to John Russo's Movie Academy. John Russo, for anybody who's not familiar, he wrote Return of the Living Dead. He co-wrote Night of the Living Dead. So if anybody's, a zombie fan out there, I'm sure you probably heard the name at one point or another. So in any event, I went to film school, but then, life happened. I started doing things, other mediums, different projects, and that weren't related to film. And I kind of really wanted to get back into that. So I thought YouTube would kind of be a way for me to, share the projects I was working on at the time, and also talk about other interests that I have, oddities and antique medicine and anything in the Victorian era. I love all of that. So I kind of wanted to, focus my channel around my interests and also the projects that I was making at the time, whatever medium I happened to be working in at that point. So 5 years ago, I uploaded my first whopping 2 videos. And, but during that time frame, I was pregnant with my first and only child. So, a short while after I uploaded these videos, I had my baby. So obviously that takes up a lot of your free time. And, so then not only that though, so before I had her, I moved, then I had my baby, then I got divorced, then we moved again. So in the last 5 years of major significant, big life changes, there's also the everyday stuff that, creeps in there, working day jobs and, just the normal everyday sort of drudgery. And then also the most important job that I have or never will have, being a parent. So I didn't have a lot of free time to sort of devote to my creative artistic endeavors. So unfortunately YouTube was a casualty of that and got put on the back burner. But now, things have settled a little bit. We're 5 years after the fact, and I have more free time now to sort of devote to my, artistic endeavors and kind of get back into the swing of things here. So I really want to try to make a go of, being consistent with YouTube videos and uploads. And I just kind of wanted to, talk to you about what I intend to have on my channel. And hopefully, you'll be interested and you'll stick around and subscribe. But in any event, I'm still going to do a lot of projects, right? So it's going to be a lot of oddities inspired, antique medicine inspired, Gothic art, mixed mediums. But I also want to make the projects accessible to where anyone could do them. There's obviously a ton of very talented people on YouTube, and they do these amazing projects, but a lot of them are cost prohibitive. Maybe you want to have an oddity or a cabinet of curiosities, but you don't have thousands of dollars to shell out on a medical school grade anatomical skeleton or something like that. Or, you have been lusting after a Victorian style lampshade, but you can't spend hundreds of dollars on, a single lampshade. So I want to kind of take ways where you can, sort of interpret those aesthetics, or you can kind of make them your own, but within your budget to where anybody could do it, and projects that are accessible for everyone. So I'm going to do a lot of, sort of decorating, homemaking videos, but also, like those actual projects, thrift flipping, to where you make it look like an antique piece, or, oddities or gaffs. So if you're not familiar with that term, it's like fake oddities, and give you some like history along the way of like where those, those things came from, like where the original like Cabinet of Curiosities concept came from, or, certain aspects of like vintage medicine, and like how you can sort of incorporate those interests, if you have those too, into like your everyday sort of decor. And so you can like flex your creative muscles too while you're making projects. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. And then also just, sort of slice of life stuff too. Like I said, I mean, I'm a parent now, so, some like gothy type parenting vlogs, although I'm not going to ever have her on the channel, because I don't want to put her on the internet before she's like old enough to have a say so if she ever wants to do that. But, I do a lot of like event planning and parties for her and things like that. So I'm going to, put some of that stuff on here too. Maybe you can take some of those elements and incorporate them into your own parties. Just, a little bit of everything. And of course, not that there's not a shortage of people doing this, but, I kind of want to take you like Halloween hunting with me, because I know there's like a flood of that on YouTube of people doing Halloween hunting. Let's face it, I've been doing that my entire life anyway, so I might as well take you along for the journey if you're interested. So it's going to be a little bit of everything, but always, more darkly inclined. And I hope that you'll enjoy what I have coming up. So I have a lot of projects in the works, and one project in particular, which I've mentioned, Cabinet of Curiosities. So we're going to be working on something along those lines next. So if that interests you, please hit subscribe and stay tuned for what we have coming up. All right, thank you so much. And if you've been with me since the beginning, I appreciate you, and I'll make it up to you with at least consistent uploads in the future. Okay, thanks. Bye.